indigenous American, as I have Indian ancestry. My roots go way back, and as a descendant of George Washington's sister, I know the responsibility that our ancestors have handed to us to preserve our democratic republic. And I have an idea tonight that I want to share with you in a few minutes about how we can do that. California is in a mess. Our schools are even worse. With an upside-down society, upside-down mortgages, an upside-down economy, and an upside-down educational system, our schools are in crisis. And as a teacher for over 30 years, I know what to do to fix our schools. Now, one of the stats that I'm going to talk about tonight is the dropout rate. California has a 50% dropout rate. In LA County, it's 60 and over. That's a disservice in which we are not meeting the needs of our young people. Every young person deserves a quality education. And what I plan to do about that is to focus on bringing back more vocational education for those young people who want to get a job right out of high school rather than going on to college. We also need to make sure we have safe campuses. I taught at at-risk high schools, and I know that a safe campus is important for a quality learning environment and to provide a quality education. Also, we need to, in providing that safe campus, look at things like being able to close a perimeter, being able to have a police presence on campus like we did on ours. And with this plan, where I taught in Orange County, we were able to bring a lower performing school with at-risk students to achieve the National Eli Road Award for most improved student scores in the nation. So I know that every young person can improve. Additionally, we need to empower our teachers to provide a quality learning environment.
What is your position on school choice? Do you favor vouchers or charter schools?
My position is that I believe in free choice in education. Whatever we can find and create in order to provide a quality education for all our young people, we need to do that. However, my focus when I'm elected will be to focus on improving academics in our school and the total climate of education in California, and bringing back those 50%, sometimes 60 and 70% who are not attending, so that they can get their education. I will work with those other education entities and work together in whatever way I can.
I'd like to add a follow-up to that.
Sure.
What can you elaborate a little bit on how you plan on changing, I believe you said the atmosphere and the way things are done in the education system?
Well, first I will meet with all of the county and district superintendents. I have goals in mind, but I will work with them to get together 3 to 5 goals each year in order to bring focus with all of the education leaders in the state. And we will need to, in reducing the dropout rate, do such things as provide more vocational education for those young people who are dropping out. Many kids do not want to go on to college, and they're finding high school irrelevant to them. So we need classes that will prepare them for a job right after high school. And it would also be important to make sure we have safe campuses. I taught in an at-risk high school, and we had a week or two every year in which we dealt with the aftermath of violence or severe conditions in the neighborhood, sometimes on campus. And there are ways you can provide a safe campus, such as having an ability to close a perimeter quickly and to have a police presence on campus. We had 2 officers on campus at all times. And we need to provide a training or empowerment for teachers. I know some teachers have been trained, but in our district, we only had 1 professional development day that we just got 10 years ago. So there are some teachers around the state, not all, many are good and don't need the training, but a few do. Where usually in the lower performing schools, teachers would benefit by training such as Peters Procedures. You can find that online at petersprocedures.com. And it shows you how Genevieve Pierce has developed a program to empower teachers to bring a positive learning environment and learning climate to each class. And if we can do that in every class, if we can provide high-quality teachers, for instance, by providing better salaries and more incentive to get more training, providing an incentive pay on salary schedules, such as for getting a master's degree or PhD, that would promote higher quality teachers. So those are a few of my ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, how do you propose to deal with the teachers' unions and the inordinate amount of power that they bring to bear?
Well, I am a former union leader as a Republican chair of the National Caucus and involved in the state Republican Educators Caucus. And I stood up for many years against the tide and said my views. And I've said over and over, raising taxes, which seems to be the only issue your candidates speak to, has failed. Raising taxes is not going to solve problems in education. You don't come up with professional development or ideas to improve education. I have those ideas as a teacher for over 30 years in the trenches. And I'm running for office again in order to enact good quality education ideas. I know them, I've worked with them, they've heard my ideas. From day one, we will join together on common ground issues. And one of the common ground issues I helped work together with the NEA was reducing the dropout rate. So you can know what effect that has already, because that was initially my idea. And we have other ideas, such as, now I'm starting this campaign, in order to preserve our society, our way of government, and pass forward to each generation the ideals and characteristics of a democratic republic. I'm suggesting we have a minimum competency test for civics and government. I stand up, I speak out, I'm a doer. I'm a speaker and a doer, and I'm a leader. And when we have educators who stand up and who are willing to take the flak, to take the political heat, that's how we're going to change things.